The tiger is one of the most feared of all the big cats. A native of Asia, he has the reputation of being a man-killer. But if he's free to do as he pleases and has an open escape path, he'll usually avoid people. Unfortunately, if he feels threatened or is being mistreated, he can suddenly turn into a vicious killer. When working with a tiger, treat him with great respect. Be sure to leave him an easy escape route, and whatever you do, don't tease the tiger. In this film, we're going to meet a different kind of tiger, an invisible one. One that's around us in many different places every day of our lives. Unfortunately, people often tease this tiger without knowing it or without realizing what this tiger might suddenly do to them. This invisible tiger is pressure, air pressure. And we're going to show you what it does in this modern world when well treated and what it can do when it's teased or mistreated. People have used air pressure for thousands of years to turn windmills, move sailboats. Today, air pressure lifts airplanes skyward and keeps them there. It operates tools and machinery, and when it's used in braking systems, it'll stop heavy trucks and trains. Before we go further, let's take a look at the word pressure and make sure we know exactly what it means. An engineer will tell you that pressure equals force divided by area. Think of force as being push. Then the equation becomes this. Pressure is push per unit of area. Or for maybe another simpler way to look at it, this book is pushing on the table. Actually, it's only pushing on part of the table, the part it's touching. An area 8 inches wide and about 10 inches long, giving an area of about 80 square inches. To find the pressure created by the book, we can assume the book weighs 8 pounds, and then apply the engineer's equation. Answer? About 1/10 of 1 pound per square inch. The wood can easily stand that low pressure, and the book causes no damage. Now, suppose we take this nail and put the book on top of it. In that case, the weight of the book is pushing on a much smaller area, just the point of the nail. Now the pressure acting on the table just under the nail will be thousands of pounds per square inch, depending on how sharp the point of the nail really is. That's more pressure than the wood can support, and the nail makes a small hole. A small push on a very small area becomes a high pressure. Now, it's also possible to get a very big push from small pressure. All we have to do is to push on more area. A moderately strong breeze will push on this sail with a pressure of only about 1/10 of a pound per square inch. Since the total area of both sails of this little boat is about 62 square inches, such a wind would generate a push of about 6 pounds. And that would be enough to move this model boat very fast, but obviously it wouldn't move a real one. But if we make this sail much larger, say 20 feet high and 10 feet across, the area would be over 14,000 square inches, and the same wind becomes a push of over 1,400 pounds. Now, that's more than enough to move a 2-passenger sailboat. The important point is that a small pressure acting on a large area can become a very big push, and that big push is a tiger. Meet Al King, Executive Deputy Director of the United States Parachute Association. Al is also an instructor in skydiving, one of the fastest growing sports in the world. When he and his students skydive at 15,000 feet, they know that air pressure under their chutes will allow them to land safely and gently on the ground. Just how much pressure are we talking about? Less than 1/10 of a pound per square inch. That's right, less than 1/10 of 1 psi. But it's pushing on a lot of square inches. Here's another example. Air pressure on the bottom of the wings of this 747 is just slightly greater than air pressure on the top of the wings. In fact, the difference is less than 1 pound per square inch. A very small pressure acting on a large area can make a big push. In the oil business, people work with high pressure every day. Here's what happens if water plus nitrogen gas under 8,000 psi is not treated with respect. It's a big tiger. Now let's see that again in slow motion. Now, that was high pressure acting on a small area. If we go back to the engineer's equation, we find that the total force pulling the weakened connection of this treating line apart was about 25,000 pounds. That's a lot of push, and it can do a lot of damage. What about a low pressure on a large area? This is the air pressure tiger in its most dangerous form. Why is it so dangerous? Because people do not treat it with respect. They find it hard to believe that 5 psi can be more dangerous than 10,000 psi. That lack of understanding and respect results in teasing the tiger. Meet the main characters in our film. 4 large steel bottles. Together, they make up what is called a bulk trailer. This one is used for handling dry cement in the oil fields of Algeria, but similar systems are used all over the world for many other purposes. When air is forced inside big containers like these, it becomes a fierce tiger. Every square inch is being pushed hard, and there are a lot of square inches. The bulk carriers will be deliberately overpressured to show what the tiger air pressure can really do. There's a lot of preparation needed to record this event on film. Here's the camera crew getting ready for some preliminary shots. Now, naturally, not everyone understood why a bulk trailer was to be deliberately destroyed.
Hey, Eric, what are you doing up there?
Well, you see, I'm going to show you. Do you know what those marks are there?
No.
Those are... Hand me that hammer. Those are hammer marks. You see, all those marks were made by hammer blows, and all the marks on these tanks were made by people who don't realize how dangerous it is to work with pressurized tanks, even if it's low pressure. Obviously, these tanks are not pressurized now, but what we want to do is to explode them to really show the potential danger of working with large volumes of air under pressure.
So because of these marks, you're making this demonstration?
Yes. We have chosen the old tanks, which do not meet our safety standards any longer, because of the weldings which are not correctly placed, the main supports are not right, and they don't have pressure relief valves at the top. Therefore, we had junked them several months ago, and now we are going to deliberately cause them to explode.
Do you know exactly what's going to happen?
No, but we'll soon find out.